can Cloud9 go undefeated this regular season? Because as much as they do get flamed for crashing out in playoffs,
this ain't playoffs, baby.
This ain't
Not
playoffs.
yet. This is the regular season. And yeah, they have been looking really, really good. They are our only undefeated team thus far. Picks and bans kicking off here. A lot of kind of unique bans here coming out from TL, targeting APA pretty heavily and also taking away the Seraphine, which has obviously just been ridiculously popular.
Exactly. You get rid of Seraphine, it's also going to weaken the power of the Ashe. Annie and Cassio banned against APA, like you're talking about. Over on the Cloud9 side, it's Karma, Lucian, and Orianna banned out, as Team Liquid is going to first pick the Rumble for Morgan.
This means, obviously, champions like Rumble, champions like Pantheon are up and available. We have not had any jungle bans coming through, so it is going to be up to Cloud9 where they want to go here. But the two top enchanters have been banned out, which could change things a bit. Of course, we do see still a lot of, Lucian combos, and that's been banned out, so we're not necessarily expecting something like that Melio to come out. But Varus is up and available here too, and is a possible flex.
And honestly, I'm looking at Team Liquid's side, and they very well could build a Rumble Yone comp here for Quid again. They talked about how much they really are comfortable in those combinations. Getting the Rumble first tier to be able to build around gives you a lot of options as far as you can use the AD mid laners, but you don't have to.
And I like C9 picking Jarvan as their jungler. Powerful option in his own right, but also one of Rumble's best friends, so it's a good deny from Jose Diodo and Team Liquid.
And it is going to be the Yone, I think, here. We're going to see if that is locked in as the timer does expire. He's 3-0 on the split on it. This is the champion that people associate most, I think, with Quid in the LCS. Considered his best champion. APA, of course, will have the ability to counterpick here with the third pick. And I'm curious to see where he wants to go. Does he have something specific prepared? Because two of these kind of common mid laners that you might see picked into him have already been banned away by TL, and it's going to be Ezreal down in the bottom lane for LYON, which makes a lot of sense. When you do have Rumble Yone, you generally want to focus on those solo lanes.
Looking at the Ezreal stats, I'm kind of surprised. 6-12 on this champion. Really poor performance so far in the LCS across this entire spring split for Ezreal, having such a low win rate.
I think it's just the nature of a lot of the matchups that he's going into. Some of his best pairings are very frequently banned out. And TF is going to be the answer here from APA, so you will have push early on. We'll be able to play towards those side lanes. So now I'm really curious, what they're going to be looking for with Thanatos. Is this going to be a Varus top? Is this going to be a Varus bot? What type of side lane does APA really want to play towards? And I will also say, when you have pretty squishy melee solo laners like this, the team fight from TF can actually be quite good as well. Once you get to a couple items, you're just walking forward with Rapid Fire Lich Bane, you gold card whoever, your team just hits frontline, and that can be quite powerful.
Team Liquid as well for Core JJ. If they can get a good, setup support here, though, they can really punish these low mobility carries with Varus and Twisted Fate, both being pretty big opportunities. If you get a support with Engage to set up the Yone, can have a really big wombo combo available and Rumble Ultimate over the top. See what direction TL decide to go. Obviously, Enchanters have been the belle of the ball recently, but two of the biggest ones are banned out.
Vi removed from the options, getting rid of one of those powerful gankers. Ambessa also going to be taken off the table now by Team Liquid. Another one of those picks that can go top. It can also go jungle. Obviously, it wouldn't be going jungle since Blabber's already got the Jarvan, but they are saying, we don't really believe that the Varus is going to be going top. We want to make sure that Thanatos isn't on one of those signature picks of his.
Exactly, and it would be a lane that you would want to play towards as the TF, right? You come in with a gold card, set up that Ambessa ult very easily. Engaged junglers are going to be the bans here for C9, taking away the Vi as well as the Nocturne here from Jose. Of course, you can just go common picks that pair with the Rumble. Things like Wukong are still up and available and very, very popular, and Jose has also loved his Lee Sin, been very good on it. The kind of like most highly prized engaged support for core this split has been Rakan, which is up and available if he wants to go that sort of direction. So I feel like, with the bans here, it's still going to be a ton of comfort on both sides.
And I really like the Bard ban being the final one here from Team Liquid, since you've already got the Twisted Fate on Cloud9's side. Having the Tempered Fate to give extra setup in the side lanes or to make pick plays would be really scary. And Vulcan's definitely good on it.
Yeah, he definitely has been. And Vulcan definitely one of the premier supports in the league, getting a lot of MVP love as well. So definitely a very good ban there. What do they decide to go with, though? Do we get the final reveal? Nautilus, okay, point and click CC. Would be useful against, some melee carries. They're not going to quite lock it in yet, though. support counter pick.
So it is going to be Aurora going into Morgan's Rumble here.
Yep.
So Dignitas will have counterpick up in top lane. And so because of the nature of the draft, C9 has been able to counterpick both of the solo lanes here. They had their choice. They got the blind pick Varus, which is obviously very powerful. And a bit of an atypical situation. Pantheon still up and available here in that last round, but Jose has just been so good on some of these picks. Wukong feels like the one that makes most sense with the Rumble. It's pretty standard.
I feel like that would be really hard for TL's like early game because Aurora, really good matchup into Rumble. That's going to have pressure. Twisted Fate, going to have pressure early into Yone. I feel like they wouldn't have a lot to work with. I guess they want the Pantheon to have something to be able to make some plays with and not have to have like a full farm jungler here. So it does give them like some angles to go for some aggressive plays.
The other option that could have been good is always the Sejuani. When you have double melee solo lanes, I think that could have been quite strong. Give them a little bit of front line because, you know, right now they do have some ways to engage, but they don't have any real front line whatsoever. And I feel like when you play no front line versus TF just gold cards anyone and you just hit that person because you have so much follow-up CC with the dredge line, with the Varus ultimate, with all of these tools that C9 have and all the squishy members on the other side. If you get hit by that gold card, you could just get CC'd 100 to 0, so TL's going to have to be pretty on point, I think, with their engages.
Yeah, the only thing that's hard to kill on Team Liquid is Pantheon with his shield up specifically. As soon as that's no longer available, everybody just melts. I feel like I like the Cloud9 side of the draft better. What about you guys?
Me too. I agree. I just think it's a much easier comp to play. I think TL has a lot of power here with their engage. But if that engage does not go smoothly, I think you are going to get destroyed in these fights.
And I'm going to be looking a lot at Jose with the Pantheon. Can he create some, some positive plays here for TL to get them out of what should be, I feel like, a lot of just map pressure available to Cloud9 with their solo lanes especially, and then getting Twisted Fate to be able to ult around. But you can make a lot of plays too off Pantheon and Nico. The last couple picks here for TL, CoreJJ as well as Jose, definitely have the ability to make some big plays for the team.
They really do, and I think that the point of power for TL is going to be their bottom lane because both your solo lanes got counterpicked. You need to get some power down on that bot side. Vulcan, to me, this pick is much more about the team comp than it is about the 2v2. And when you have Ezreal Nico, yeah, it's not Ezreal Karma levels of oppressive, but if you are hitting your poke, it is very powerful.
And TL, of course, they will have a very big Wombo combo later for the mid-game team fights like we were talking about with the Nico and the Yone here, setting up to keep big Rumble damage on them.
All right, checking in on junglers. We've got both of them starting on their buffs here in the top quadrants of the map, so they'll both be pathing top towards this bottom side, which means that this bottom lane that we're talking about the pressure being on for Team Liquid to be able to get ahead could be a point of contention if those junglers decide they want to try to make something happen early, considering they both have very effective early game pre-6 gankers.
Yep, and this is not the circle of suck, it is the circle of success because it is our top 3
Winner's
teams here. Exactly. C9 beat LYON, to kick off the split, but then LYON beat TL, and now the question is, can TL beat C9 to really make it an even field at the top of the table? Will all of these teams have taken a game off each other, or will C9 be able to complete their undefeated split?
Exactly. If it goes in the full circle like you're talking about, then you still have the conversation, yeah, but who's really going to step up in playoffs? If C9 ends up beating both of them, then C9's clearly number 1, Team Liquid's clearly number 3.
Then your question is, will C9 step up in playoffs?
Will C9 choke or not? That still does remain, unfortunately, there. But at least the stats would be favoring them unconditionally if they can take TL down.
It just feels more complete to have the full circle come all the way around, especially from the very beginning of the split is when we started that circle with the opener from Cloud9 and LYON, and feels nice here in the last week of the split to be able to finish off nicely.
It's like starter Pokemon, right? You've got the lion, you've got the horse, and you've got a gank coming into the bottom lane as Vulcan flashes forward for the auto-attack route onto Yon, and Blabber shows his face. He's ready to grab the first blood, and they're going to go ahead and give it over to Sven. Nicely done by C9.
Yeah, that was really good there from Blabber. Did 5 camps, top to bot, skipped those Krugs, so came a little bit earlier than I think TL was expecting. Thought they would be able to crash that wave and instead get punished here. Yon holds on to the summoners, but Sven getting first blood is so big for C9.
Yeah, desync desyncing on your camp timers here to get the surprise. Always worth it if you get a very, quick first blood like that. You get the bonus money, you get some really good momentum for your bottom lane, and yeah, your Krugs are going to be a little desynced, but he's still going to try and walk up and cross to the top crab. I think because your top lane Rumble is already down here, he yoinks it anyway!
Nice job from Blabber there. Even though the top lane Rumble was there, Blabber just walks up, yoinks it, and heads back into the jungle.
That feels so good as a jungler. You have to skip your camp, you're delayed to the scuttle, you still get there and take it away. So everything going well for him. And Sven is now, winning in that 2v2 thanks to the gank, and he's playing TP. So even though Core was able to get back and freeze that wave, it's not that big of a deal because Sven just TP's back and is going to look to, oh God.
Okay, it might be a big deal now. Sven flashes away and he just ends up wasting the summoner. He teleports back, he dies. He flashes away, dies to the Nico auto anyway. Heaven just went to hell in the blink of an eye.
I mean, that is just so rough from Sven. Vulcan is walking back, so really your only window of opportunity on the side of TL is killing him right there. Your buy is way better for Sven. You TP back and he just over pushes. I kind of want to see what the start was. Maybe he thought Core had based or something, but you've got to play with some respect to the enemy support until your support is with you.
Keeping track of Nico is always the name of the game. Man, I gotta feel like a lot of the things the lounge started as far as conversations though kind of came true in this game as Quid is getting very low.
Yeah, Quid still 2 normal autos away from death, so it's not like APA can just flash forward and one-tap him without a card locked at least, but Quid's gonna take his chance and recall.
Yeah, okay, let's see it again. So it is just gonna be a Nico minion trick, but yeah, I mean, Sven just can't be up this far.
1, 2, 3, 4 melees.
Yeah. You just can't be up that far. I mean, that is a really bad mistake. I know they were having this discussion. Jat was kind of saying, hey, like Sven doesn't deserve some of the criticism he's been getting. Well, this is a big-time mistake. After your jungler gifted you first blood, you should be winning this 2v2. He just steps up too far and gives over a freebie.
Now Morgan in danger as Thanatos goes between worlds. Blabber's ready to follow it up. Nice use of the flash there to redirect the EQ combo. Guarantee that he follows Morgan's summoner spell, and the kill goes over to Thanatos.
And the conversation they were having about, did losing last week as Sven.
Oh, Core with a flash. Goes for the Tangle Barbs onto Sven. The Varus down to 250 HP, trying to get away. Fires back a piercing arrow. Vulcan staying alive now too. But over the wall is Jose Diodo. Watch for the Comet Spear. Can he find the snipe that he needs here on Sven? Charges it up. No, not quite. Just barely misses the hitbox.
Yeah, that was close. And we'll see. Is Core going to be able to interrupt him here?
Blabber is walking. You see him on the minimap. He's still pretty far away, though. They're trying to delay, clear the wave.
That was a nice piercing arrow from Sven, keeping LYON just one auto attack away from death. And now over the wall, Vulcan's ready to engage and APA is ready to follow. Finds the stun there onto Jose Diodo as Blabber is ready to follow up. Jose with a flash away, but APA and Blabber are still in pursuit. Another gold card. There's no shield this time, and APA is on the board.
Twisted Fate, the great equalizer for the bottom lane there. If you stick around too long after a play, I mean, they didn't have a minion wave anywhere close for the tower dive. They had to push so much and going to steal the Krugs as well. That's just way too much time spent against a Twisted Fate. Good punish from APA.
I mean, that was really well done. And APA didn't even lose minions. Like, he had the wave pushed out first before that roam, so is able to get back, collects that wave. And not only do they kill Jose, but Jose flashes, and they don't even spend a flash to chase him down and kill him off. So looked like it was going to be Sven dying again, and maybe this snowballing out of control, but instead, Blabber and APA get down there and flip the play on its head.
And Blabber is just playing so well this game. Blabber has absolutely been smurfing. Desyncing Krugs timer, going for the gank bottom. He has successful gank on top side as well. Able to even smite away the Scuttle Crab, not getting behind in CS, and now he's level 6 on the Jarvan here, so you've got the combo plays available. Twisted Fate Ultimate, #1 was very successful for APA. It was pretty early in the game too, so that's always really nice for him. He got the kill credit, and you notice he has a Dark Seal, so 2 stacks in your Dark Seal. It's a very, very good scenario for the opener of a Twisted Fate game.
Yeah, and it's actually even more important, I feel like, to have a successful first ult when you're going for this build. He has no CDR, right? You're going to be going Swifties into Roa. So your CDR comes in very late with this style of build, which means any failed ultimate is that much more punishing.
And unfortunately for Team Liquid, when you look at the scoreboard, the only meaningful gold lead, the only gold lead at all that they have is in the support role there for CoreJJ. So I guess at this point what you're hoping for is once you get into the neutral objective battles for Dragons, for Rift Heralds, Core can find a big ultimate there with a Pop Blossom and really make something happen, since the Nico is where the money has found itself here in the early game. Thanatos up 600 gold. APA singing the same song over in mid lane as Blabber takes this opportunity to go for the Void Grubs, and it looks like nobody on TL is going to contest.
Yeah, with TL's focus, I think they should just go Dragon. I mean, they've got the Ezreal plus Nico bottom lane pressure, so they can just push on bottom side. I mean, also Quid is in a fine condition at the moment, even though APA does have push on the wave. He's full health for the Yone, and pretty easy, I think, Dragon focus here for TL.
Yeah, I mean, this is nicely done, and that is kind of like the other story of, you know, as APA is roaming and when you're going this style of kind of defensive build, it does mean once Quid is on Vamp Scepter, you're just not really having any kill threat ever again. So Quid is going to be farming up, and now it is kind of that trade-off of how much ahead can APA get his teammates before Quid shows up to a team fight and becomes a real problem.
1,000 gold lead total for C9 right now, 9 minutes into the game. That first Dragon claimed not particularly fast, so even if Team Liquid is able to acquire the first couple, it's not going to be one of those super early game souls that we sometimes see game states revolving around. Nobody has hit first item power spikes here just yet, but Yone is already full build, does have the Vamp Scepter in the inventory, so Quid should be able to sustain a little better here.
And look at this rotation we're getting. Off of the reset here, look at the bottom lanes. Cloud9 are doing this patented play. TL actually do this a lot, sending their duo up here first while Thanatos is still there on the Aurora. They're trying to make a little sneaky trail here. You see them on the mini-map as they go over the control ward.
Oh, wow, the flash chains of corruption coming in from Sven to follow up Thanatos' initial engage between worlds. Nice pick there from C9.
Honestly, I feel like this is them giving TL a little taste of their own medicine, because I've seen them do that play so many times, and Flash is invested here from Sven. He's able to hit the snipe. Flash and Varus ultimate gets them the kill, and going to earn them some momentum. Then you can send your Thanatos down to bottom side. Recalls there, and yeah, Ezreal gets a little extra time on the bottom side tower, but still very good investment.
And I think it's just great timing because Morgan just didn't have his flash. His flash comes up now, so that was off of that earlier play where Blabber goes in, forces his flash, and had the flash redirect on his flag and drag, so kills him there, gets his flash. They regank and kill him off, and that is beautifully done. TL considering a look towards Thanatos, but Thanatos I think is very safe right now.
Yeah, Blabber also around this area of the map. Flash over the wall with a Pop Blossom coming out from CoreJJ, and APA's fate is indeed sealed as Quid jumps in and Jose Diodo takes the final hit.
Yeah, that's also a cost of investing so much onto the top side of the map. You see all these wards here through your red quadrant of the jungle for Cloud9. And nice little easy roam here. They come from behind APA. There is nowhere for him to go. Investing the flash for the Nico, though, so it's not like it was super duper free. Some cooldowns, you know, invested here. Obviously, the ultimate and the flash are pretty decent.
Yep, not bad. And APA does still complete his Roa on that death, so going to be happy about a pretty quick Roa here that's going to be starting to stack up. And you can see the Rocket Belt on the other side, the Blade of Runeking completed off that. So our first item spikes are coming through for a lot of the players right now.
Yeah, both Sundered Skies are done in the jungle. You can see your MasterCard power spike there for Sven completing the Ghost Blade on that Varus. And we already talked a little bit in draft. Isaac, you brought it up. When you don't have a true tank on your team, the gold cards from the Twisted Fate are always going to find valuable targets. The same can be said for the piercing arrows from the Varus. It's not like anybody's going to be stacking tons and tons of armor to be able to deal with those. So Sven, who's already got 2 kills, if he can continue accelerating himself compared to the rest of the pace of the game, those things are going to hurt.
Everybody's got to dodge then. That's your defense.
Okay.
If nobody's got armor, then it's all
just don't get hit.
You have to be evasion tankers.
Just dodge that gold card.
Exactly. Dodge the gold card too. Okay.
Everybody
does
get
no damage if it doesn't hit you.
We dodge the gold card by wherever Twisted Fate is. That's where I'm not.
You dodge Twisted Fate entirely. The whole character model shouldn't be on your screen.
Honestly, though, LYON, is fine tanking some of them. Obviously, he has the cleanse, so sometimes at least he can move up. APA, nice little bit of a sidestep there. Quid doesn't quite get the little knock-up. And we're looking at the next Pantheon ultimate here from Jose. If they can try and make some sort of play on CoreJJ hiding with Nico and then using some Proto Belt to set up, That could be a big play here with a Dragon only 1 minute in the future. You know, if you can blow some summoner spells or get a kill around this lead-up time to the Dragon, can try and keep that stacking going for Team Liquid.
Yeah, something I thought was really interesting, about the fan vote was APA was actually favored. And APA, this is his record, when he was on TL, almost a 60% win rate. And then this is his record versus TL, NA only has played.
It's so much better, 100%.
Exactly, 100% win rate. They played that one best of 3 that they did win. So APA looking to continue his winning ways here. I think he has had quite a good split, and it's cool to me to see that the fans were kind of favoring him above Quid, because I think when you thought about preseason expectations, people would have assumed that TL really was the big winner out of this swap.
But as we've seen, Quid has had a lot of stinker games here and there. I would say on Yone.
But his Yone smells great.
Yeah, I would say
fresh cut spring flowers.
This one, he has a very good chance of still turning this game around. I mean, it is. We've been singing the praises of Cloud9 a lot in this early game, especially for Blabber and Thanatos as well. But it's only 1,000 gold has been the result of all this positive stuff for Cloud9. And still, if you hit a Wombo combo with this Wombo combo team, you've got Rumble, Yone, and Nico combination here. It very well could be huge, and you could erase that lead very quickly. Plus, they have the Dragons going in their favor, as we said, and the Cloud one is currently here and waiting during the setup, but nobody really getting into a dangerous spot during the setup quite yet. CoreJJ kind of waiting, lying in wait here to see if anybody steps up.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. We talk a lot about the ease of execution for C9. Their comp is way more straightforward, but at the same time, Core hits one good Pop Blossom, catching multiple carries. Equalizer is there, Pantheon is there, Yone is there. You all die instantly. So you have got to be careful about that engage. That really is the scary part, as TL will grab their second Dragon of the game, and it is going to be Ocean Soul, which would not be their preferred soul, I think, in a comp like this, but still, they are the ones that are going to be able to force C9 to come to them.
2 Dragons always feels nice early on. Pop Blossom from CoreJJ only hits Blabber, and the Jarvan still has the EQ combo ready to disengage, so not a whole lot of value there.
But he got the flash off APA.
Okay.
So, APA did ult in there, and Core says, no, we're turning on you, and I think APA got a bit nervous, so he instantly flashed out of that. So I would say still win for TL for sure.
Okay. And it's interesting, too, because Quid also teleports. So teleport long cooldown for the Yone. And when we're looking at the side lanes, as now they're going for an ulti.
Yep, they're going to dive in there immediately. Jose Diodo arrives with the ult. APA is the target, and he's out of there. Team Liquid commits to the bottom lane and gets a kill.
Yeah, they commit hard. They use their other teleport, so TL will be out of teleports. They've used, everything here versus Cloud9 still have Thanatos and Sven's teleport, but they get their kill. They get their kill on the bottom. First tower bonus still to Cloud9, so that kind of evens the gold and kept it fairly similar there. Morgan will finish off this one, but now he's getting teleported on. The teleports are on the other side.
The teleports will continue until the lane improves. Morgan trying to get away from this one. Thanatos, though, has plenty of damage to knock that Rumble down.
And they still have more. APA's got one, and Sven has one, too.
C9 and Team Liquid staring each other down here around the Rift Herald pit. LYON trying to get away, Fate Sealed from Quid. It's a whiff. He finds the follow-up damage into Blabber, knocks him down to 25% HP, but the ultimate itself not landing a knock-up, not finding a true engage is going to hurt a little bit there. Vulcan only locks up the Nico clone, flashes over the wall into the dredge line, hits CoreJJ, but now it's Vulcan who's a little bit too far forward. Blabber jumps into the Cataclysm, right back out with the EQ. APA comes in with a gold card to lock up Quid, but he snaps back with a Soul Unbound. Blows traded from both sides, but nobody drops.
Seemed like a bit of a strange flash in. That commitment from Vulcan felt like a bit forced to me when Blabber was low, and he's kind of one of your strong members. Blabber couldn't really do a lot. He Cataclysms in, immediately has to flag and drag out, and the Varus TF just didn't do that much damage. So a bit of a wasted engage, I feel like, but Thanatos is really becoming a problem here for TL.
I think it was a little tunnel vision. I felt like watching the whole time, Vulcan really wanted to punish Core because Core's waiting in that brush, and he missed his Tangle Barbs, and then was juking with the clone, and he barely gets around the wall and is walking away, and a little bit of a reach there. Meanwhile, it left the bottom side alone, and so Thanatos, this Aurora we were talking about, 2K gold up, takes the tower down there too, and that's the big strength here for C9. The side lanes them with the Twisted Fate as well. It's going to get hard to keep those side lanes in check for Team Liquid.
Kind of fun seeing some new support tech here as Vulcan has picked up his Doran's helm.
And immediately APA is ready to enter now. Has the ultimate, but the counterattack from CoreJJ goes in. APA is locked up. Burst down. 1-for-1 trade here at the very start, but it's mid laner traded for support. Team Liquid going to feel happy about that one as CoreJJ sees the opportunity to punish APA's attempted move there.
Okay, 1-for-1 at the moment. Still have...
Oh! Vulcan with the Hex Flash into the dredge line. Doesn't find Yon. Well-timed Arcane Shift to react to that one, but everybody's still in the area. Josedioto still at his red buff right now. Doesn't have the Grand Starfall here just yet. Engage coming in from Blabber. Lots of damage onto Quid. They nearly got him. Thanatos on a killing spree as Josedioto arrives. Goes for the combo onto Vulcan, but he doesn't have the damage here just yet. Trying to defend himself here with a shield. Josedioto gets a kill on his way out, but surely he falls. A 1-for-1 trade. Both junglers out of the picture now as well, but it's a 2-for-1 overall as Quid also fell right as he tried to snap back with the Soul Unbound.
Yeah, Quid just has not been able to hit these Fate Seals. These ultimates have just been barely whiffing, haven't been able to lock people down, and then it just felt like TL felt that they were committed. Jose is going to flash in and trade his life to kill off Blabber.
APA wanting to use that Summoner Spellbook Ghost to get enough distance closed to gold card Yon, but can't quite do it.
And honestly, props again to Blabber. I felt like he was kind of like a Matador, you know, with the cape just out of Yone's eyes right there as Quid barely misses. He sidesteps, then he Cataclysm and EQs right back on. Let's take a look at this. So he sees him coming, and then he steps to the side, dukes the bull, then Cataclysm EQs on him. And even with the Rumble ultimate there, as you say, Jose also committing into it. And so C9 are able to outplay. Yes, in the end, they do kill the Matador. So they do get their target, but it costs them both players to do it. 2 bulls for 1 Matador.
That's not a good trade.
And I think so far this whole game, Blabber's mechanics have been really good. He's had lots of good jukes, and his early game was well planned out too.
And Vulcan will be happy. He got to take down Jose, and he gave us a quote last week where he said the biggest goal for us is making sure we don't live in a world where Josedioto is MVP, which I was very surprised by that quote. Jet asked him about it. He declined to elaborate. But then Jose was also interviewed, and I apologize because I can't remember which outlet actually did the interview on this, but where he was talking about... Oh,
wait, hold on. Thanatos going between worlds. CoreJJ and Yon both trying to get away, but APA with a gold card on the left side of the fight. Yon cannot complete his escape. Core barely gets out, but the more valuable target does get picked up. C9 make the move. They get their pick on Yon. Meanwhile, in the top side, Morgan's doing what he can to close that 2,000 gold gap, getting the tier 1 turret.
Yeah, so they make the investment, Twisted Fate ultimate into the middle, get their kill. In the end, of course, yeah, you give up the rest of the outer tower, but they still have pressure over mid themselves.
C9 trying to get the last little bit of damage to knock over this tier 1. This will be the last tier 1 turret still standing for Team Liquid for both sides, actually. The tier 1s in the side lanes are down, so taking over mid will open up the map a lot better here.
So as the teams will back off, yeah, it was a sheep. Oh, never mind.
There we go. Tier 1 turret gone. Morgan in some danger. Rain of arrows nearly killing him off. The piercing arrow also just barely not finding the target.
I wanna say, but they're gonna keep fighting.
Yep, APA, you don't have time, Isaac. APA caught in the pop blossom with the tangle barbs, ready to follow it up. True shot barrage doesn't quite aim true, so APA gets himself out. That's the Rod of Ages difference right there. He's just ticked up to 10 stacks, so you've got all of it. You've got the extra stats from the extra level, and it makes sure that he has enough health that Team Liquid send up there in the top lane can't actually bring him down.
All right, this time for real. So it was a Sheep Esports interview with Jose after that, and they kind of asked him about that Vulcan quote, and he said, I'm not that interested in winning individual awards. Individual awards mattered to me years ago. At the end of the day, whoever wins the split will be happy, and he says he thinks it's more important to work day in and day out towards that goal of winning the split rather than focusing on MVP.
Blabber, okay, they don't have Twisted Fate ult. If APA's cooldown was a little shorter here, maybe if he did have some more CDR, they definitely go for that chase, but no Twisted Fate ult means they're just going to kill off the ward, be content with their vision here, control around Baron here for Cloud9. So they can really start to put that extra pressure on TL. And the vision control is going to take its toll. Blabber going in here for some jungle, counter jungling as well.
So what's the name of the game here if you're Team Liquid? Because Thanatos is still up 2,000 gold. Sven's
Win a
up
wombo combo
1,500
team fight.
gold. Okay, so aside from Quid has to actually hit ultis,
Or CoreJJ has to hit one so then he can.
Okay.
Set him up.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Maybe
Press your R's simultaneously and have them hit the carries.
Yeah.
Okay. So just hit your shots. That's what I'm hearing.
And because that's what they really do need. I mean, technically, you could try and go for like a Pantheon ult over to like some solo lane trailing play. But you really, because you've lost control of the map already, you have to keep your vision control around the Baron and make sure that you're ready for one of these collapse plays.
Yeah, it gets really, really tough for Pantheon. You can see some deep wards up on that top side from TL, and Thanatos is just very slippery. It's going to be hard to actually lock him down, even if you do find him in a side lane. So Thanatos getting coverage now from Vulcan and Blabber. He's pushing up. They want to play towards their strong lane, because they do know TL could look for one of those side lane plays, and APA is weak-sided right now, so he is kind of just backing it up and making sure he's not interacting.
Okay, just chilling right there. Quid, you can see, has already retreated back towards his own side of the map. When you're playing against Twisted Fate, it's just so dangerous to be pushed up. Like you guys are talking about, Team Liquid has already lost control over the Rift, so it makes it that much more dangerous. 90 seconds on the clock until the next Dragon spawns. Remember that Team Liquid not on Soul Point because C9 was able to claim Drake number 3, but they need any sort of pressure they can get at this point.
Yeah, and they're already feeling the pressure to do something. Because Cloud9, once they get their rapid fire on Twisted Fate, then you already have really good poke from Varus with 3 items. Here we go.
Yep, Quid goes in, immediately locked up there by Vulcan. The damage onto Quid is nearly enough, but he survives with 200 HP. APA arrives on the side of the fight, but he's not close enough to finish the job. Quid very fortunate to not be dead in that one.
All right, can they actually do a Baron bait or something off this? They obviously want to use some sort of advantage here with Quid using a lot to escape, but...
Oh, Thanatos, he tries to catch Jose Diodo there between worlds, but it doesn't work. You can see that Jose was barely out of the range of the circle.
Yeah, they were considering, do we want to start Baron, but I feel like their Baron damage is so low, so instead they look for that Jose pick, but they can't find him. And so it will just be this chunk onto Quid, who was kept alive thanks to that heal coming out there from CoreJJ.
Exhaust used from APA just now with his spell book as Quid was walking up towards him, so they're going to cycle that one, and LYON is actually long chasing, or it's actually CoreJJ up there. A lot of pings were going down. Looks like Twisted Fate's going to be able to walk away. They don't Pantheon ult for the long chase, and TL will, though, at least gain control of the Baron area to retake some vision.
Anything they can get feels good at this point, right? Walking into the enemy jungle, stealing away the blue buff. Sure, it's not going to change the entire flow of the game, but it's something.
Yeah, I mean, they are giving the Dragon to do it, so maybe they want to, like, put enough pressure on the Baron to make Cloud9 come back, but Blabber's basically done with the Dragon already.
Yeah, Blabber's got to finish this one up, and the rest of C9's doing a good job distracting TL from being able to DPS this Baron in a meaningful way. Vulcan, however, already down to 1/3 HP, tries to go in after LYON, but a nice use of the Arcane Shift to get him away. Okay, True Shot Barrage, not going to find much. C9 has successfully taken the Dragon while repelling Team Liquid from the Baron pit.
Yeah, well handled there by C9. You know, Vulcan got chunked a bit, but you know, they just kind of play it slow, allow Blabber to finish that Dragon. He gets up there, and then C9 have kind of already won that exchange because they got the Dragon, so they don't need to force anything. They are happy to continue waiting. The Zeal just got picked up for APA, so now he has both the components for that rapid fire. And the team fight just gets so much easier for TF once you have that rapid fire, because every time the proc is ready, you lock a gold card, you walk forward, and TL basically has to just back it up. You can kind of just create that space very easily.
And around the same time that he gets that rapid fire, look at the inventory for Blabber. He's nearly ready with his own Guardian Angel. So big team fighting tools almost coming online for 2 different C9 components as Vulcan finds the angle for the dredge line, and CoreJJ is no more. C9 invade the enemy jungle, go blue buff steal for blue buff steal with Team Liquid, and get CoreJJ on top of it. Now with a 5v4 for the next 20 seconds, we'll see what they can do on the map.
Yeah, they can keep a lot of pressure because they do have some good range advantages here. Sven and mid lane poke damage is going to be real, so they can push mid and bottom simultaneously, and pretty effectively as well. As you see, the bottom lane's going to get that crust knocked off too, get some more tower plates there, couple mid, couple bottom, and Cloud9 taking over more territory.
It's a crusty push for Cloud9. They're getting everything, mid and bot both. Team Liquid going from a 3,500 gold deficit to nearly a 5K gold deficit now as C9 just continues building the lead.
And it is interesting because in the interview I did earlier with APA and Quid said whoever wins game 1 is going to 2-0 the series. That was his prediction.
No.
So, you know, if that is correct,
take it back.
That is, you know, not good news for his team.
No. Not at all. C9 looking good in this one. I mentioned the items earlier as they were about to come online, and sure enough, here are both of those. You've got the Guardian Angel for Blabber, Rapid Fire for APA. Up in the top lane, Banshee's Veil, 3rd completed item for Thanatos to make sure that he can't be picked off. And the entire time, Sven is already at 2 fully completed lethality items plus Muramana, and now he's got the Last Whisper too.
Yeah, and we also have to remember the playoff implications here for TL. So to have their fate fully in their hands, they need a 2-0. Otherwise, it comes down to, you know, how LYON does. Even if they win the series, it's going to depend on the results of the LYON series. So TL definitely wants to maintain control of their fate, which will require a comeback in this game.
Yeah, and as well, if they want to complete that beautiful circle of success that you showed us earlier, a comeback is going to be necessary. Cloud9 doing a little bit of playing around with Baron here, and they did show mid and walk over, so I would expect TL. I mean, they're walking over, but now the teleport is committed. Now it's a full commitment.
And as soon as C9 sees that teleport coming in, they immediately back away from the Baron. They know better than to try to just take Baron with Rumble, with ulti up right there. Morgan also level 16. Blabber jumps in for the Cataclysm on the multiple targets, but now he's got to be careful. The rest of C9 right behind him, but a very nice equalizer coming in from Morgan. Blabber's going to get cooked for the Guardian Angel, brings him back. Vulcan with a flash away. C9 health bars are hurting. Jose goes forward. Blabber gets shut down. C9's team fight just buckles, and Team Liquid get exactly what they needed.
Blabber just walked very far forward there. His positioning was pretty cocky, and TL make him pay. Jose stuns him up. The Fate Seal this time from Quid connects on multiple members, and C9 immediately have to be retreating.
I feel like Blabber wanted that. Like, Cloud9 thought they win this because he has Guardian Angel. So he goes in and he steps back, and now he goes back in again, and so he gets the double knockup, but then Quid ulti, he EQs into the Yone ult, so he gets pulled with the Yone ult back over here, and yeah, like, they expend the Guardian Angel, but they expend the Guardian Angel and just die and don't get anyone. What a huge relief.
We don't have to rush like that. We can just play for my gold card. I always be able to get range and gold card right now.
Agree.
I completely agree, and that's how I thought they were going to play, and it just felt like they over-pushed there, and you can see Jack, their reaction, head in hands after that. And Thanatos, you know, he got caught by that Fate Sealed as well, so big play there from Quid. TL punished the mistake from C9, who felt like they were in a position that they can just fight and win, and they were not.
Yeah, it was a blunder from Blabber. Not only did he lose the Guardian Angel for nothing, he's flashed for nothing at the very end of the fight as well. So Blabber without 2 very critical team fighting tools with 5 seconds left until the dragon spawns.
The comms, though, from Cloud9 very clearly focused on, okay, now what do we do next time to make it better? They want to play around the gold card range, as APA said. APA also has your favorite item, the Arm Guard Flowers.
Okay,
so he can make a Messiah play as well if he wanted
to. Look at APA.
Core JJ, he's waiting in the brush. APA is immediately going to be the target of the teleport coming in. Team Liquid tries to make their move, but APA escapes critically.
That cleanse was so fast from APA. Instantly gets out of there.
Nicely done from him, but now the fight gets to begin yet again. LYON has a chunk of his health gone. Jose the same as C9 want to be able to take this Drake here, force Team Liquid back with the advantage that they have thus far. APA without that Summoner Spellbook cleanse, but that won't matter. He's got both of his real Summoner spells available. Nice piercing arrow flying out there from Sven, continuing to chunk LYON, who's now completely out of the fight. Core JJ tries to go in alongside Jose, and they found the kill into Thanatos. C9 wants to get something back. Core finally falls, but Vulcan's going to be traded here too. Jose barely keeping it alive, but another big piercing arrow goes through. LYON trying to claim the dragon if he can, and LYON doesn't get it. APA and Blabber work together to secure the Drake as LYON continues running. Quid doing the same. APA coming around. LYON dies. These piercing arrows are the name of the fight for Sven and Cloud9. So many kills coming through because of those specifically. Only Quid still stands. APA, Sven, and Blabber pushing towards the tier 3 turret here in the bottom lane.
And they could be pushing for even more here. The Deathhammers are still pretty long. Quid is going to actually catch mid, so he doesn't think they're going for an end. Core is back now, so they should be able to defend here. Critical that Quid stayed alive, or maybe C9 looked to end it, but I agree, Flowers. Sven hitting all these piercing arrows on LYON, he couldn't join in on that hard engage. He was at 20% health, Kobe.
Here's a look again. They Pantheon ult, they Rumble ultimate, and Core JJ gets the flank initially. So they burn down Thanatos, but the re-engage is so huge there. And Sven from the back line untouched.
Exactly, and you know, had LYON been a little bit higher, he had to shift away as they hard engaged. He was so low on health. If he is able to be, you know, 60, 70% health and shift in when they go for that fight, it could have been massive. And even Quid as well. His Yone ult just barely missed the TF as they go forward. You can see Spawn really unhappy about how they played that team fight. It's
always a dangerous game to read the coach's lips.
Gosh darn it, T. We could have played that one better.
Just look at his eyes, not his lips. The eyes tell the story.
And so does this graph of Sven's accuracy on these arrows.
Legolas down here.
You were bringing it up, you know, all these squishy members, nobody wants to take arrows on the TL side. They have to dodge them, and, you know, he was hitting home.
So, C9 are starting up the Baron. Critically, Blabber's Guardian Angel still has a few seconds left on the timer. Jose now has a Guardian Angel of his own. Something C9 needs to be conscious of if they were trying to go for some big smite contest, but that's not going to be the case. Vulcan over the wall, tries to find something, doesn't get it. C9 still grouped up as 5. Team Liquid doing the same as Quid splits up towards the top side now to answer the wave, pushing 3 minutes until the next Drake spawns.
Nice calm play, though, from C9. It's the same Baron play they looked for earlier. Go threaten the Baron. As soon as Morgan TPs, just leave. You've gotten enough from that, and that is going to allow them to have more control in the side lanes. They have 3 teleports on their team. They have TF. They have a lot of ways to play on the map here, and TL is more limited. They're more dependent upon that.
Ooh, Sven hits the Chains of Corruption onto Jose Diodo. He'll block the opportunity for any follow-up damage there with the shield, but he has to flash away after. That's a nice pick from C9.
I mean, TL, they got to pray right now because the map is collapsing in on them. There's super minions bottom side. As you say, they're playing against not just a Twisted Fate, but basically a full build Twisted Fate. That Dark Seal has 8 stacks on it. It's almost a real item. He could upgrade it to a Medjai's, and so much pressure. He has Zhonya's, has the rapid fire. Cloud9 know. They already pushed bottom lane, so now they can take the attention over to Baron, draw TL away from that pushing bottom lane, and just play the long con.
Okay, 80 carries don't have ultimates. You can see Sven's Chains of Corruption going to be up here in 5 seconds.
They just want to keep them away. Look, the super minions are going to stack up on bottom side. Those will eventually take a Nexus Tower if left unattended just by themselves. And the Baron's at 5K already.
Yep, C9 is keeping the DPS on it, but they're going slowly. As soon as Team Liquid approaches, C9 backs away. Baron's still at about 3,600. A teleport is coming in now from C9 into the bottom lane. The Baron's going to be secured by Blabber. Jose Diodo goes in to try to fight Blabber with a flash away, keeping himself alive for now. But look at the base. Team Liquid has Thanatos at Nexus turrets. They got to be careful here. Jose Diodo trying to fight and get out, but his Guardian Angel's going to be procced. Team Liquid finally manages to send Quid back to defend, but Jose Diodo will die here with the Baron pit. Quid at least maintaining the second Nexus turret. But honestly, a really good play across the map coming in from C9. They get a Nexus turret, they get the Baron, they get the kill onto Jose Diodo.
I just love the pressure they were putting on because Quid had no TP when they started up that Baron, so they knew he would have to walk. And by the time he has his teleport back, the Baron is low, so he can't leave. You can see the frustration there on Spawn's face as Jose goes in. It was a flip, but Blabber won it, and that was huge because if TL do take that Baron, it definitely could go a lot worse for C9. C9, though, now on Soul Point. That Soul will spawn in 30, and Jose will have no GA and no flash for that fight.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I was panicking for Blabber there, too, because, like, I thought they were going to do it even more slowly and just, like, try and keep it there and let the super minions do even more work, but you know, they invest Thanatos up there and they go for it. They do get the kill. They do obviously can try and like pair with Sven damage stuff too. You know, they've got some good bursts for themselves, but it's still, any jungler is getting some spike in blood pressure when something like that goes off. Because Pantheon with the Q charged up can definitely be very good at stealing.
Okay, Metal Gear Core JJ is behind enemy lines, disguised as a minion, so it was even harder to detect him if they saw him on the ward on the minimap. But C9 is already going for the Ocean Soul. They've got it down to 4,000. Jose Diodo ults in here with the Grand Starfall, and C9 immediately turns to go after the Pantheon. Jose is already down. The Dragon secured by C9. Morgan's in the middle trying to cook Vulcan down to 0, but he can't quite do it. Core JJ and Morgan both into the stasis, and they're both likely to fall. Quid tries to get something back, but he cannot even fire the ultimate off. APA on the chase after LYON. He lands the gold card with a rapid fire cannon. Click, click, boom! Team Liquid aced for nothing. The Ocean Soul for Cloud9, and they will march it straight to the enemy nexus.
C9 running TL around the map this game in the opener, and they look like they want to keep that undefeated streak alive.
C9, all 5 alive, all 5 pushing that last Nexus turret, 20-8 with a 12,000 gold lead. C9 takes game 1.
C9 definitely looking very good right now, so it's going to take Team Liquid to have some pretty big adjustments here for game number 2.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And now with TL having lost the first game, even if they win the series, the fate is not in their hands for, getting first place. Of course, if C9 wins 2-0 or 2-1, they will be undefeated in the series, so they are guaranteed first place. But TL in a series win here now, it would depend on how LYON does in their series.
Exactly. Team Liquid would still have the chance at first place if they win, but it's not entirely theirs to decide. So let's go ahead.
Ash and Seraphine are available, boys.
Hold on. We still got one more band to go.
Hold on,
We still got one more band to go. It's Bard, Ziggs, and Cassiopeia banned out by TL. C9
and
banning the Ori
Karma
and the Lucian.
Too. So are they going to actually leave Karma up, or are you going to do a trade? Because the most common pairing, obviously, for that Karma, is this Ezreal. But you can do Karma Caitlyn. I think that's super lane dominant as well. So I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to trade. And it is going to be, I feel like TL for sure have to go Karma.
And if you do, then I feel like C9's easy response is just Ashe Seraphine, right?
Yep. The question is, which do you prefer? Which is stronger? I feel like Karma Caitlyn is almost an unbeatable 2v2. I think it is really, really hard. So I would expect them to have the advantage against the Seraphine Ashe. But of course, Seraphine Ashe bring a lot of scaling, a lot of utility. It's not just about the 2v2. And it's also interesting because I feel like Core is such a key part of his play is his ability to engage. So maybe C9 are saying, yeah, we know you're going to take the Karma, but that means Core can't be a playmaker, so we're okay with that.
And we still get Ashe Seraphine, which is an S-tier bot lane duo. That'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, Vulcan, you're talking about Vulcan's Bard. His Seraphine has been incredible as well. This whole split for Cloud9, and you can build so many insane team comps around this bot lane duo because it not only is it all this great team fighting utility, that's always the highlight, but also the hawk shot lets you build all these jungle plans around it. And with how well Blabber played in the first game, it could be a huge advantage to have that extra info.
Well, we can see which one of the duos is more powerful just based on win rates. Ashe 8-10 so far in Spring. Seraphine 11-7. So she's the greater driver of the two, but they got both, so it doesn't matter. Generally, when I see these two locked in, the number one thing I want to see is a jungler that can go in front of them and be a conduit for that encore to fly.
Basically, you want to see Xin Zhao, right?
Yes.
Which is up and available, and the question is, will Jose deny that, as a result? I don't think he will because, they need some sort of engage. Instead, they're going to go for Quid and his pick. I expect we'll see Xin Zhao here and not a matchup mid laners, but TL have to make that decision. And yes, Ashe Seraphine, incredibly strong, but Caitlyn Karma is the duo as an answer that I expected, that I called out. And I do think this is a winning 2v2, a pretty heavily winning 2v2 for the Caitlyn and Karma. Of course, the level 6 spike is way better for Ashe Seraphine than it is for Caitlyn Karma, but pre-6, you are expecting to be able to have the push.
And this is what they've done before too, get the APA Annie here so they can have this massive multi-layer engage, hard CC team fight for themselves for Cloud9. So you have to think they're already comfortable here, with the way the draft is going, kind of intentionally trading these power picks back and forth with TL and investing themselves more in the specific Jose Lee Sin target ban here for themselves. So I think pretty good planning so far from C9. They're probably really expecting all the stuff that has gone down here. Yes, TL do have some strengths though. You can siege tower early, Caitlyn Karma, try and get your turret plates, get some tower damage, and then you can rotate them into the mid lane. You can have side lane rise, and you can have a lot of side lane play and some map pressure here. And Caitlyn does full item. Caitlyn at the end game is an absolute monster and gives you the sieging options, and then you have the rise for split push as well, and you can try and pull a team fight composition a little bit apart.
It is interesting seeing the Wukong band there instead of the Xin, so more concerned about that potentially getting grabbed up. Jace Obviously, another strong split pusher. You can play 1-3-1 with that sort of style. And they are clearly more concerned about TL's ability to play side lanes and attack on side lanes, I feel, than they are about hard engage, because we're kind of already shaping up for a similar style draft between this game and last game, where C9, their first 3 picks, gives you 3 engage options. TL's first 3 picks doesn't really give you any engage options, so they are kind of missing that right now. And I'm curious to see how they're going to try to fix that, or if they're even concerned about it whatsoever. Thanatos' most common pick here is the Gnar, so feels like TL want to try to force him into a bit of an uncomfortable position and see if they can get an advantageous matchup for Morgan.
I still feel like that's kind of hard to do, though, considering TL opted for first pick, which means C9 will have the last pick of the draft. I expect them to save that for Thanatos specifically. And here we go. All right, Nocturne locked in for Blabber.
It just helps so much when you are relying on your ability to hard engage team fights.
Yeah.
Having Nocturne turn out the lights makes them, check all of these different flank angles. Where are they coming from? Like Annie, it makes it easier for Annie to get into brush or get into angles where she can either flash or proto belt and get big engages too. So Nocturne always works really well with these. Plus, it gives you some coverage for if your opponent's side lane control gets out of your control, then you can always have a Nocturne to try and put them in check a little bit.
Yeah, that's the part I was really thinking about was, hey, if you're going to play Ryze and you're going to try to draft some sort of carry top for Morgan and play, hey, we're going to do 1-3-1, well, Nocturne makes that very difficult, right? You can attack the side lanes very easily. Even if you have a winning 1v1, it is going to be Zin's out for TL, obviously really strong, with the Enchanter to back you up. But again, TL still have no engage whatsoever, and it is going to kind of stay that way. You have basically Room Prison and a Flash Stun as your only real forms of engage, so generally speaking, that is no engage over on the TL side, and C9 are just going death ball. They're saying, you know what? We are going to walk forward with our big Scion in front, and then we're going to hard engage with Nocturne, with Annie, with Encore, and we are just going to try to fight you front to back, hit any target that you present. I like what C9 drafted way more both games.
And it's kind of the opposite switch in strategy, right? First time, they're playing the map more. They do that better. They're able to collapse. This time around, they have massive hard engage. They're going to have huge team fight. And they have the Nocturne to try and coverage if you get out of control. So Cloud9 putting the pressure on TL very early in this series. Win game 1. And looking at game 2 here, of course, Morgan on his Renekton, get some signature picks here for Team Liquid.
Gentlemen, what country are we in? Are we in South Korea? Because I don't think we are. And generally, if you're not playing in South Korea and you draft 0 engage, if you fall behind ever for even a brief iota of a moment of a slip of a speck in time, you're done.
What about this? We realm warp the Xin into the middle of your team, and he ults and does
the Zinsec?
The Zinsec, baby.
The Zinsec, and it's right in the middle, so he just sprays everybody in different directions. How about that?
Sprays them.
Okay.
I mean, one thing I will say, I agree with you generally, but we have seen some of our teams kind of getting better with some of these hard engage, these comps that don't have hard engage, excuse me.
Yeah. I'm
thinking back to the LYON series, how they kind of played this game against TL, actually, where they were playing with Jace, TF, and Ezreal Karma, and I felt like they navigated the team fights incredibly well in that one, and were really able to kind of dance around that range and play it really well, pick their moments. So that's kind of what you're depending upon here for TL. And also, you're depending upon your bot lane to slam this 2v2.
Yeah, all of your lanes, really. You want pressure on all your lanes. You've got Renekton into Scion. You have Ryze here into Annie, as long as jungle, attention is appropriate around here. Then Quid can try and get some poke damage here. APA goes in through his stuns, but I think that TL want to have early pressure this whole game and build this momentum. Caitlyn and Karma try and get some tower plate money, and we're already, though, getting a jungle invade to split the map. As you see, Blabber going from Raptors over a ward into Team Liquid territory. So they did expect this. They have the defensive ward coverage to see it coming, and Xin is going to blast going on top of him to stop the split.
Yup. Blabber sees Jose Diodo on the way, so he's just going to go ahead and disengage this one. The buff going to slightly reset here.
And Blabber didn't know that Jose had no smite. Jose couldn't actually really contest that. Blabber could have just taken that and walked out, I think, but was nervous about the potential collapse. Quid was moving over and was worried that he could have gotten caught. So at the end of the day, Blabber ends up spending a lot of time there. And this 2v2 looking very scrappy. you know, when they were fighting pretty hard, you know, both the heals have been used. Core missed his mantra Q, unfortunately, which is going to cost you a lot.
Okay, bottom side. The fight continues. LYON and CoreJJ trying to keep the pressure onto Sven and Vulcan. LYON, however, down to about 100 HP. Sven with a flash forward. LYON survives the last auto attack from the ranged minion. Doesn't finish him. It's a bloody battle down here on the bottom side. Is CoreJJ also very low. Vulcan even lower.
Both junglers
Everybody
too?
is down on death's door, and both junglers are approaching the area. Hosdiodo tags Blabber with a wind, becomes lightning, and now Blabber's got to try to get away. Drops the fear tether to provide the route for escape, as Hosdiodo still looking to see if he can punish one of these bottom laners, but C9 has fully retreated.
This is actually huge, though, because Sven had to
So
cancel his
bad.
back. That is so bad for Sven with the wave at your tower, and it's a cannon wave. That completely bails LYON and Core out. Sven and Vulcan played that early 2v2 so well, and what I see as a losing 2v2, and now, because the jungler is there to cover, they get to crash the wave. LYON gets a better base, gets a plate. It was solo gold on that plate as well, and Sven got super delayed, so he's going to come back to the wave, pushing hard away from him with a worse buy.
It's tough stuff.
Very bad for Sven, yeah.
That's what we were talking about, is you have to slam lane. If you're playing Caitlyn Karma, because of how much more effective Ashe and Seraphine can be in these team fights later on, because of how much better of a team fighting team C9 has with their engage, it's tough. Bot lane head-to-head matchup so far here in Pro Play 2026. Ashe Seraphine has won 3 times, Caitlyn Karma 4 times. So honestly, very, very even with the slight edge for the Kate Karma.
It is. You know, I think the 2v2 goes pretty heavily, in my view, to the Kate Karma, but that does not mean you win the game, right? You can play out this Ashe Seraphine from a position where you're a little bit down, but you're staying safe. As long as you don't let the Caitlyn get completely out of control, it doesn't always matter, because your team fighting, your scaling is so powerful.
All right, Blabber getting jumped on yet again. Hosdiodo, though, got to be careful. Flashes back away with a TP about to arrive for TL. Blabber, no flash available here on the Nocturne, is going to get bound up there by the Karma, and they give the first blood over to Quid. Team Liquid's on the board.
Damn, TL played that so well. Utilizing that early TP is so hard. That thing takes forever. But they were able to keep Blabber around. The flashes being traded there, the Karma getting the tether, allows Quid to arrive, pick up a free kill in your mid lane for first blood.
I think a lot of this was really smart there from Jose. Jose using his flash, and now he's actually onto the bottom lane with Core coming too.
Yep, Vulcan loses half of his HP there, also pretty low on the mana bar, so the Seraphine not in great shape.
This is also great because look at the Nocturne's XP, man. He's still level 3 at almost 5 minutes here. He has been kept down because this failed invade and all the scrapping.
And now, because mid lane prio again favors Team Liquid, and there's the smite for Jose. Blabber misses it. He's barely hanging on, and he dies again. Blabber's early game is over.
It's so crushing when you try and do the smite fight, so you use your cooldown for your smite, and you don't get it. Jose is spamming him with emotes the last few engages too, because he's been running circles around him, flashing these the fear tether in the previous one, this one being able to get it, the extra advantage on the invade. And TL, we said their job is to win the whole map early in this game. They are certainly doing that. Again, all of these lanes pushing and winning, jungle matchup heavily going to play to them, and as a result, heavily winning this time for Jose.
Yeah, it is just kind of snowballing out of control. Blabber, you know, not even 4. Jose's almost 5 here. And, you know, it hasn't just been about the jungle matchup, not even close. It's been about Core getting so active, and I love, even though he is on Karma, he's been everywhere. He's in that river skirmish. He's invading there with Jose. They're putting the pressure on an APA, on a roam here. You kind of start feeling like C9 needs something to work for them to try to claw their way back, but Morgan is aware of the fact that he's missing, and Quid will just push in mid.
Yeah, good comms on the side of TL here this time around to call it out, give him the timing, and now Realm Warp.
Okay, Realm Warp arrives from Quid, and Sven's in trouble yet again. Can't quite kill Core. That is twice now the Team Liquid bottom lane has escaped with barely any HP, and those small moments have built into a 2,000 gold lead just 6 minutes in.
They call the roam topside timing. They play around the Annie walking up topside, and they make the counter play with Realm Warp on bottom. Gives you that extra timer here with the distance, and they know they can get the punish. Nicely done there from Quid and Team Liquid. They are certainly snowballing this one back. From our top 2 teams here, I mean, it's top 3 with LYON, but this banger matchup here, excited that game number 2 is not going the same way as game number 1. And we may be in store for more because TL already like jumping out to a astronomical success here in game number 2.
I mean, TL are just playing it so well. You know, APA spends his timing, goes top, that fails. Quid is on a timing down towards bot. They punish. And right before Sven had his flash again. So Core has just been so active here. And Blabber, not even 6 after 7 minutes. This is such a slow start for a Nocturne, a champion who wants a power farm, who wants to excel.
And he's losing his Raptors right now, too. Jose counter jungling before Blabber even comes around because he has that timer and he's got his level 6 advantage. So he keeps up the advantage as mid lane was traded as far as the Annie ult, and now he's camping for another.
Yeah, Blabber just walks right into the waiting Jose Diodo. The only thing he can try to do is a defensive fear tether, but that's not going to matter because Jose just runs him down. Team Liquid is washing C9 off the map this game.
He's still spamming emos. That was like 4 in a row, spamming on cooldown too. Man, is actually smurfing this time around. Game number 1, Blabber, huge advantage, and definitely had some jungle gap. But game number 2, Jose getting his revenge.
Absolutely, and this is a worrying trend for Vulcan, who wants to keep him away from that MVP, because Jose looking at MVP form here early in this second game.
Now they're going to take over the Dragon Pit with their advantage in bottom lane as well.
But as you keep pointing out, Blabber and junglers always will just say, you know what, it was support diff really.
What's up, Cap?
This Karma's always right behind the Zid. Really good stuff here, though, TL and Jose specifically. He counter jungles the Raptors. He has his level 6 advantage. So you have your level 6 in the duel. You're going to have the chase down as well with the extra charge. Starts emoting early, even for extra points. 1, 2, 3. There was another one.
What is idiot doing?
Oh!
Oh. That's getting spicy there,
I like
man.
it.
A little trash talk.
Jose Diodo can't even believe. Is this amateur hour? What's going on here?
Because he's like, oh, Blabber knew that I took his Raptors, so why is he even going to come in here? He knows he cannot duel me, right?
Yeah.
He's like, this is my town now.
And he is right, and this jungle matchup has been spicy in game 1. Blabber was smurfing in game 2. Jose has been killing it.
And you can see right here some historical regional accolades for the two. Jose, remember, coming from the LLA, has some championships, international appearances there. Blabber has more for North America, but so far in this split, it's Jose Diodo doing better than Blabber so far. Once again, doing better than Blabber here in this second game. Jose coming down to the bottom lane now, wants to find the win, becomes lightning on Sven. No, Sven gets away there. The heal from Vulcan, enough to keep him healthy and keep him hasted to get away from the aggro. But Quid's ready to try to show up, make something happen. Flash away from Vulcan, flash follow from Jose Diodo, finds the knock up onto the Seraphine. Wham, bam, they knock down another one. 5-0 Team Liquid.
And it is so problematic when Ryze gets way ahead. This champion is so tanky naturally with his build, with the Roa, with the Seraphs, all that shielding, that when Ryze gets ahead, it is a struggle, because the engage for C9 is powerful. They have a lot of upfront damage, but if this guy gets too far ahead of the curve and you can't one-shot him, all of a sudden he is going to be deleting you in these fights.
Well, he's got a 10-minute Rod of Ages, so I think he's pretty far ahead of where he wants to be. Honestly, Team Liquid, awesome showing. Meanwhile, mid lane, it's another play coming out, but this time it's C9. Blabber finally finding the opportunity there for the paranoia, gets the kill onto LYON, slows that Caitlyn down a little bit.
Just play safe, man. Gets stunned up, 100-0 with the Nocturne ult coming in, but Realm Warp.
Yeah, Vulcan now again. Team Liquid going to spend another flash. This time it's on Quid's Ryze to lock up that vulnerable Seraphine and find another free kill. Vulcan's second death this game.
Yeah, TL are just moving around the map so well as a squad here. And that recall barely finishes, so APA gets out. Otherwise, he could have gotten collapsed on and died there, too. That was actually a split second away from him getting interrupted.
And one thing that I think makes this matchup so frustrating for Blabber to deal with Jose Diodo, who is so far ahead, normally with Nocturne, the Unspeakable Horror will buy you enough time with the Fear Tether to make enough distance that the enemy champion can't chase you down with whatever dash they have. But since Xin Zhao will have already hit you by the time it procs, you are marked as challenged. The Audacious Charge has the extra range, and you saw it in the previous solo kill around the red buff. Jose can still just catch right back up and continue beating you to death.
Absolutely can. While we're watching this battle between two of our top 3 teams, tickets are available for Spring Finals. We're going to see some of these teams there, I guarantee it, at ASU's Mullet Arena, June 13th, 14th. The single-day tickets are already on sale. You can scan that QR code on your screen and grab some. watch some of your favorite LCS teams play.
Yeah, come see the next episode of the drama. The comms listenings are really hitting as well. The extra layers between our top teams as Jose is back bottom. The camping continues.
I don't think morale is going to improve on this one, Mr. Kobe, as Team Liquid just continues making sure that C9's bottom lane is miserable in this 2v2. YON is ahead over 1,000 gold.
Yeah, this is well ahead of the benchmark that we set for them as far as like, oh, you need to have early pressure, play off your lanes and stuff like that. Like they're definitely exceeding expectations here. 3K the lead for Team Liquid. Just traveling between bot lane and mid lane has been so effective here for both Jose and Quid, and even CoreJJ, as he established the early lead here through the river. And now, when you look at the control wards that lead this kind of opening into Cloud9's bot side jungle again, it just makes it so easy. You've got basically a highway for all these ganks to repeat and all these roam plays to be successful for TL.
And we may be seeing this same build from Jose that we saw from Kryra, Titanic into Dusk and Dawn, gaining a lot of popularity. Initially people had been kind of just sticking with the Sundered Sky, but this feels like it is kind of taking over in solo queue and is really starting to get a lot more popular in pro. The APs in Zhao just has insane healing, and this isn't like true AP, but it is, very, very powerful.
It splashes into it at least.
Yeah, the Titanic on hit is a really big and critical part of it too. As he's coming back, so the highway between mid and bot lane is open again. Here comes the Rise and the Xin. It's like Sven and Vulcan are gonna already have to retreat to their tier 2. Respect the pressure. Quid is still here.
This is just so well done, and they're doing the dragon at the same time, so Quid's just going to walk down and help them take that tower, and TL are just pressuring the map non-stop. Blabber is going to see that the dragon's being taken, but not like he can do anything about it.
No, sir. There has not been anything Blabber can do for the vast majority of this game. Checking in on the top side, because we haven't really this entire time. Morgan's going to go ahead and drop the Dominus here. Another decimating smash comes out from Thanatos, point-blank ulti. I think he was hoping that Morgan was far up enough that there would have been more than one tower shot there. Unfortunately for him, Morgan is outside of the range, so Thanatos survives for now. This is one of those matchups that we see it a lot in the LCS, and it feels like it almost always favors the Scion as the Renekton tries to get away now. APA tanking up most of the turret, but Blabber flies in alongside his mid laner to guarantee they get that kill on Morgan.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say during the tower engage there. The mini-map, they're walking up, both Annie and Nocturne, and they actually still chase them all the way through for the tower dive, so they do end up getting the kill on Morgan. Unfortunately for Thanatos, it's been too long since he walked back away from the exchange, so Thanatos doesn't get an assist.
Rip.
It's not
all that hard work.
It's not even that much money since it would be split between 3 people, but still, yeah, for all his hard work, doesn't get much of the reward. And still, for Cloud9, he's the only gold lead there for Thanatos. With the 59, the big 59 on your Scion, that's going to go a long way.
Huge.
With all of the early pressure that Team Liquid have put out and been able to snowball, we're just looking at dragon fights on repeat for Team Liquid. And when you are a team with Caitlyn, Karma, that has had a successful early game here, not only is your Caitlyn just going to be powerful with the Hex Optics plus an Infinity Edge very soon, but you get to put your trap line down ahead for all these consecutive dragon fights. And all of a sudden, it becomes very difficult, even with the ludicrous amounts of CC that Cloud9's team comp does have. They're going to have a hard time kind of getting in.
That is pretty big, though, getting the cleanse there off of YON. YON was just stepping forward with that Inspire from the Karma, chasing down Sven, gets some good damage on him, but they now have that cleanse out. So there is a possibility, hey, if you can get that Fear Tether on him, if you can get an Encore to hit him, and you can kill off YON in a hurry, you never know, because they do still have some pretty good upfront bursts here on the side of C9.
Well, they're not going to have a chance to challenge for the Rift Herald as Team Liquid going to secure that one. Immediately, Blabber jumping in with a paranoia. They found Jose Diodo, and that's a nice pick there for the side of C9.
He called the emergency escape Uber, but it didn't get there in time. He put out the Herald.
It's the surge hour. Yeah. There's too many other people.
He was like, please, somebody pick me up, Herald. And Cloud9 are like, we'll pick you up. There's the kill.
I mean, that is nice. It's a late contest, but they don't just get the kill. They take out the Herald, right? So that is great there for C9, who is trying their best to stay in this. They are continuing to make plays. Blabber has been involved in all 3 of their kills, despite being put way down at the start, almost caught up in experience as well, but Morgan looking for a potential angle for a dive.
Yeah, but you can see Sven and Vulcan playing very aggressive here, keeping the wave from ever crashing into the turret, which removes Morgan's ability to run in and try to make that dive happen, so C9 stays safe.
Yeah, I mean, the gold lead was at like 3.1 thousand before these last couple of plays, and so Cloud9 chopping it down quite nicely for themselves. The next dragon, of course, is still going to be a big point of contention here, and trying to get to the Caitlyn to the big break point here. You know, LYON now also has the pickaxe here, so he's just looking for combined cost. And if they can get him there first two, then you've got Caitlyn poke and traps and Karma poke. And so it's going to have to be a really big moment of Annie flash, Nocturne ultimate, you know, Sion engage coming from, you know, another direction, and Cloud9 still can make it work with the big combo available to them.
I will say credit to Blabber. He's only down a couple hundred gold. It doesn't really matter at this point with all of the things that went wrong.
Now immediately C9 going for the engage yet again, but they bungle it. Not really what they were looking for. Thanatos hits the wall. Blabber doesn't get a lot of value out of the paranoia. APA wasn't there for the fight, so Team Liquid's feeling just fine.
They do get the flash off Jose, so, you know, Jose does respond, and APA maybe has an angle here.
Yeah, Jose Yoto waiting in the brush, but this time around, C9 was ready for the trap that TL tries to set. The arrow finds Vulcan here in the follow-up, and C9 just got 2 for nothing. Team Liquid starting to shake a little bit in the mid-game.
Full credit to APA. Annie was in the brush here watching with a sweeper. He knew he was lying in wait, and he sees the Xin in. He doesn't jump on the play early. He waits, he tells Blabber, calls him over. Really good awareness from APA. There we go, right there on screen. He's watching him come in. He knows after the play, I've got a good position. They lie in wait, stun, interfere, instant delete.
Yeah, I mean, Jose thought he was catching Blabber just like he did earlier in the game, but this time APA's behind him. He had no flash because of that earlier Nocturne ult. TL were overconfident walking in there because of those missing ults, and the frustration there on Spawn's face, not happy about how they played that out.
Thinking back to the comms earlier, when Jose is saying, what is this idiot doing? The number one thing that I would always want to tell my own teammates in solo queues, pretend that you're stupid, bait this guy in, and that's exactly what C9 just did. But now here in the bottom lane, Jose Dioto and Core JJ do find the pick that they're looking for. That's APA in the dirt for the first time this game, and with the enemy mid laner out of the picture, Team Liquid is going to go to Soul Point. That's their third Drake in a row this game. They have controlled every neutral objective except for the Void Grubs, and now C9 is going to have to be able to challenge them at Dragon 4.
Exactly. Despite the fact that C9 has made some really good plays, they've turned a game that looked like it was going to be just an absolute stomp into something that is competitive, but TL are on the precipice of taking Soul here, and it is Hextech Soul with a team that has very good range. That is so difficult to play into.
Morgan getting the wave crashed into the tier 2 turret down here. Ooh, nice shot there from the Enchanted Crystal arrow. Sven manages to land that one. Blabber's ready for the follow-up here with the paranoia. Thanatos right next to him. Blabber's on a killing spree. C9, Sven with the dead shot eye sets it up for the pick on the enemy top laner.
What a snipe, too. I mean, that was with the slice and dice from Morgan there. And able to hit it, that allows the follow-up. Nice little pick for C9. Unfortunately, you're still very worried about Dragon Soul. As you said, Hextech Soul is a really good one.
How likely did you think it was to see the words, Blabber is on a killing spree after the start of this game?
Yeah, that's...
Because I gave it about a 1% chance after how this one started.
It's a nice turnaround there for the C9 jungler. Now 3-3-3. Jose Oto's 2-4-4. Blabber is up individually in gold over Jose.
That is crazy. I mean, he's on the faster 2 items. Of course, Jose's going to have his second item pretty fast and did get the Merc Tread, so there is that. But, you know, Quid got all this early gold, has not really been able to turn it into much of anything besides that initial advantage. He is working in towards that third item. The Roa is stacked. The Seraphs is ready, so he's strong, but hasn't been able to extend that lead any further than it already was.
And that's kind of the problem that we had when we looked back at the draft. What I was saying, how I'm always skeptical of these low-engaged drafts when we see them from LCS teams. Team Liquid's going to need to play the map. Their macro's got to be on point. You've got to be able to set up sieges with Caitlyn, who just ate the arrow, had to spend the cleanse to get out of that one, and then Quid's got to be able to split push, create pressure through that. Meanwhile, Blabber going in for yet another paranoia. This time the target is going to be Quid there on the rise, channeling Thanatos with a decimating smash over the wall, and C9 has a full send on both Team Liquid carries. You draft, engage, in League of Legends. Write it down, memorize it. That's how the game goes, and Baron is the call for C9.
Dude, that's the sneakiest.
Is that not flash, okay? Yeah.
That was like the sneakiest Scion play I've seen in quite a
was
while.
sick.
The Q over the wall was actually sick to layer the CC. As Quid had a pretty good flash there, you know, Cloud9 are going to take the Baron after that play. Huge, huge comeback. Look at that. The gold lead is wiped off the map. Thanatos down here to try and chase once again, but he's already put in the work with the last play. I mean, the engage there from Cloud9, layering it. Quid had just flashed so that the fear would send him actually away into safety there, and still gets caught. Really nice job, Vulcan with the Seraphine ult to set it up.
And now it's starting to feel like, instead of the Soul being what could slam the game home for TL, it's starting to feel like you might need the Soul to save the game, to try to stay into a good spot here as they go for this hard engage. And they don't see the TP, I think, you know, over the wall here. I guess they did. They actually warded it. They trapped it, but Quid didn't have a good angle because he was getting corralled by Sven on one side, by Nocturne on the other. Gets double knock up there over the wall and just knocked down by the Encore.
They absolutely saw it because as soon as the teleport was channeling, the Caitlyn trap is placed right where he's going to land, but it doesn't matter. Thanatos, the X factor in that fight, as we're back to live and we've got another scuffle. Team Liquid dogpiling in, but they're dogpiling onto the Scion. Quid is on the approach here from the side. Thanatos still alive for now. Blabber finally going to turn off the lights as Team Liquid continues going forward. Thanatos to flash away, but he's still staying alive for now. Morgan's going to be chopped down. CoreJJ falls too. Jose and Quid still trying to find pressure on the injured C9 players as Quid eats the damage from Vulcan, but it isn't going to matter. Sven staying alive for now. Blabber still fighting under Jose Diodo. Sven's going to be careful. He needs to maintain the range. He dodges when it becomes lightning. Blabber staying alive now too, but he blocks the ace in the hole. C9 team fighting is just better. 20 minutes into the game, Quid is on the run. This is crazy.
This is so well played there from C9, dancing in and out of the fight. Their members are all soaking damage from Quid. It looked like he was in a position where he could have taken over, but so much damage blocked by Thanatos, and as he gets low, people step forward and continue playing it out.
And it's APA. APA cuts off the bottom lane of TL. He goes up the river, this Assassin Annie play basically on the enemy bottom lane. He blows up core and then he pushes LYON out. Let's take another look at it. They started out with the arrow missing, so TL are like, okay, fine, no arrow, maybe this will be a good opportunity. Jose steps up into Thanatos. They start working through a lot of damage on Thanatos. The front line here getting a lot of work. The trap line in front as well. He has to flash and ult away. Look at the minimap. APA up the river here. He goes straight for Cortez. Boom! 100-0. And then LYON can't get into the fight to follow up, even though his front line was doing a lot of work.
Yeah, and LYON is pushed out, and then Quid. Like, Thanatos is just soaking damage here.
It's hard for me to keep going, guys. So if you guys can kill him, it's fine, but...
That was exactly
hard,
true.
all right.
Yeah, very, very difficult right there. And that was exactly what I was talking about when we first checked in on top lane back at 12 minutes or whatever. Sion versus Renekton, it was even all through the laning phase, and Sion just does so much more later on.
And C9, you know, now feeling like they're in control, they're on the precipice. If they win this game, they will be undefeated here in this best of three. Will be only the third time it has happened in LCS history in the best of three era here. And C9 being able to do it, not only against the top team, but being able to do it in a game like this, where you started so far down, would make it that much more impressive.
Blabber up to 5-3-5 now on the Nocturne. Almost the highest individual gold lead in the game after that disastrous start. Kobe, as a fellow jungler, I'm sure you know the emotional roller coaster of a game like this, where you start off just getting your butt beat, and then you bounce back and you just feel like, I'm that
Deep
dude.
path, guys. We're doing a great job. Good comeback.
And good comms and good mental flowers.
Yup, PMA, positive mental attitude.
Exactly, that is the key here. Yeah, you know, you didn't get to do a lot early, but stay focused on your win conditions here. And honestly, yeah, APA, good comms, and also, like, that was just so critical, cutting off the whole back line. And Cloud9 now with 2,000 gold in their favor. when we're looking 3 minutes into the future towards the Dragon Soul, it doesn't seem like TL are going to get their, early arrival dream scenario, Caitlyn traps cutting them off and all this stuff. And it's probably should be very favored for a setup for C9 with Hawkshot and all the plentiful amount of CC they have for Engage to try and make it difficult this time for Team Liquid.
And LDR is very far away for LYON, right? He hasn't even gotten a component yet for that thing, so getting through the Sion is going to be difficult. Yes, he is still strong, but Zven is actually ahead in gold and has the LDR, so the front line going to be dying a lot faster, it feels like. But, man, I just can't say enough about APA in this game. His team gets so far behind early. He's attempting multiple roams, finds some good plays up in top lane, putting Morgan behind, finds that flank onto Jose. That was huge. Then in this fight, finds another great angle with the help of that Paranoia, gets in on core, one-shots him, pushes LYON out. APA is playing a fantastic Annie game.
And especially considering I feel like in recent times, I've been pretty critical of LCS Annies. I feel like a lot of times, I'm serious, I'm being dead serious. I'm being straight with you. I feel like a lot of times our Annie performances that we see from our mid laners aren't up to the level that you would hope for, but APA, I agree, Isaac, having an absolutely phenomenal game here so far. But going back to the other side, because the story has been C9 so far, hold on, we got a team fight. Relmore bin, Morgan here in the front line, but he takes a ton of damage here at the very start. Vulcan barely staying alive. C9 in danger. They find the shutdown on Zven. Team Liquid coming back to life, but it's a double kill over to APA. LYON to the wrong side of the map. Jose separated from his carry, and LYON's gonna get run down. Decimating smash buries him alive as Jose Daejeon now fully on the run. Blabber with the flash ready to follow, so Jose can't take the Hex Gate. He'll escape the unfathomable horror. But the horrors are still there for Team Liquid. They thought they had their moment. They chose that fight. And C9 got a 3-for-1. It's about to be 4 with a desync jungle death timer, and Baron is live on the map. Jose Daejeon, yes, he gets the knock away with the ulti. Okay, he'll stay alive. But C9 with a 4v2 on the map for now, and Zven's about to respawn.
Yeah, and you're only a minute away from the Dragon Soul, so all these summoner spells being spent now at this fight, not going to be available for the next one here, and you're losing so many resources that you're really going to need.
Yeah, and this is a Realm Orb play. They're going very aggressive, but Jose's not there with them, and Quid is taking his own Realm Orb in, which just seems so dangerous. If Jose was there, I think it could have gone a lot better. They get the early kill on Ashe, but look at LYON on the side. What can he do to Thanatos? He can't even break the shield. Thanatos is just playing in his face, fight after fight. LYON is getting zoned out by these soul laners. And then look at this interaction here. Okay, we're not going to see it, but as little cheers there, little celebration.
Okay, so when the FlyQuest coaches did it and they handshook early, the celebration didn't work out. But this one is at much later.
This one, though, it was so interesting because as Blabber was chasing Jose, Blabber was trying to spell shield the knockup and ended up spell shielding the knockup from the blast cone. So he didn't actually go over the wall, and that allowed Jose to actually survive in that situation. So it was pretty big.
So what I was going to say before the fight happened is we've been talking about C9, obviously, because this comeback has been so huge. But for Team Liquid, the way that, as you worded it earlier, Isaac, the way that you stabilize, the way that you prevent this comeback from materializing is securing the Dragon Soul. But the Dragon right now is staring at two people, and they both are wearing Cloud9 jerseys. So that's another shot at the Soul, not going to TL. That's C9 securing yet another objective with their 3,000 gold.
I think that is correct for TL, because if you go there with no LDR, with no flash on LYON, I think LYON is just going to die.
Okay, now we got another fight. Jose Daejeon trying to get away. Enchanted Crystal Arrow does not hit the target. Tibbers eating a couple of stabs, but he's just fine. Team Liquid forced back yet again.
Man, I can already see it. The congratulations on an undefeated regular season Cloud9 post where you have the gif of them cheersing their Red Bulls as the top post here.
That's got to become a new one.
Yeah, it's all, the Cloud9 fans all celebrating the regular season if they can complete this game to be undefeated, and it looks like they can. Baron going to get started off. TL, the last hope is we make some epic plays around some epic objectives. Can they do it?
Well, they're on the approach now, but the Baron is already down to 6,000 HP. Jose Daejeon jumps in, but he jumps in on Thanatos. And I feel like this is just a broken record at this point. Every single game, Renekton versus Sion feels like it eventually becomes this.
And now, well, they got the teleport. That's what they came for. Cloud9, start up the Baron. As soon as they see the teleport from that Renekton, they cut it off. And so extra cooldown earned here by C9 with their setup. And nobody in danger. You can just kind of repeat the process.
Yeah, this is well played. I mean, it's the same thing they were doing last game, just forcing out those TPs constantly. And C9 going right back to it. And they are going to be aware of it because they are clearing out that ward. Thanatos, I think, hit it. So Jose's coming over. Maybe you can save the game with a smite steal. We'll see if they can get in and find an angle.
Okay, there's Paranoia. Wants to make sure nobody from TL can make their way into the pit as the Baron is already claimed. And now Blabber flies off towards Morgan. He wants to attack the pincer of Team Liquid. They knock him down to about 1/3 HP. Sterik's finally going to proc Morgan. Still trying to slice and dice away. He stays alive for now. Team Liquid will manage to get their top laner out. But the enemy team has already claimed Baron. C9's wearing purple.
Yep, they're still laughing here too. They're able to take the epic objective. They've got almost, well, 2 minutes and 48 seconds here left until the next timer for Dragon Soul that they're going to have to defend. They're already going to feel really, really confident in that one with all of the extra gold that they've gotten. Guardian Angel came through. We had the Medjai's upgrade even from APA with the 10 stacks on his Soul Stealer. QSS for Sven. All of these even like little possibilities of ways that TL can try and like make picks or make some sort of burst play to get back in. Now you're getting all the luxury defensive items even coming in for carries here on the side of Cloud9, and they're going to get a lot of work done when they come to Siege with their Baron. As you can see, APA is currently bottom side with the split push going for themselves, and they can do this because you have a Nocturne on your team who can just hover in the jungle between and ensure that the 2 lines of Siege will be able to find success. Arrow going wide, but even if they hit that, it would just be a cleanse trade.
Yeah, Sven does have to be a bit careful though. You know, while C9 is in a great spot, Sven is getting chunked down a bit, and Caitlyn has the LDR. There's a rocket belt plus the actualizer.
Okay, but they decide to engage there with Thanatos as Jose Diodo loses about 80% of his HP. Blabber flies in the middle of everybody. What the hell is going on there? Blabber knocked out of his Guardian Angel as Thanatos is ready to follow up with a decimating smash. Quinn is already down. Yon's ready to follow. Jose Diodo still barely staying alive. And Blabber's noble sacrifice pays off. The full send from the Nocturne underneath the tier 3 turret is exactly what the doctor ordered. Morgan's got to make his way back to the base because it's only him and CoreJJ. C9 looked like they lost this game in the first 5 minutes, but through some incredible team fighting, some incredible angles, some incredible coordination, they come back, they bring it all the way to the enemy nexus, and 34 minutes in, C9 sweeps TL and maintains sole possession of first place going into playoffs.
Blabber ends it with the Guardian Angel dive bomb play, and Cloud9 right up the middle to take this series 2-0 and end undefeated.
Man, and so much credit, I think, deserved by APA in this one. Him on the ante, finding multiple key plays here. Great flanks, perfect positioning, finding the plays to help C9 get back in it.
7-0 in series. You said it, Kobe. They are undefeated